This episode of American BBQ Trail is made possible by U.S. Foods. U.S. Foods, keeping kitchens cooking. Stay tuned at the end of this episode for quick barbecue tips and techniques you won't want to miss. Presented by U.S. Foods.
I eat with my hands, man. I eat barbecue everywhere, man. You know I had my share, man. I smell hickory in the air, man. Put sauce on my soul, man. I have barbecue everywhere.
Hi, I'm Heath Hall of Pork Barrel BBQ, and you're watching the American BBQ Trail. Really, there would probably be no Pork Barrel BBQ if it weren't for two things. My dad and his love of barbecue, and a late night discussion on the United States Senate floor about pork barrel spending. I started really experimenting with barbecue myself when I got into college. In high school, I did a little bit, but not a lot, because I had my dad there who was doing it. And I get into college, and I really start missing that barbecue. So I graduated from college thinking two things: law school, culinary school. Law school, culinary school. Law school ended up winning out. I ended up going back to Missouri. Went to the University of Missouri, Kansas City for law school. And that 3 years in Kansas City really gave me a chance to explore the barbecue traditions of Kansas City like I'd never been able to before.
For me, this is just a really fun place that's local, and I come to with my friends, and we enjoy a few drinks and some great barbecue.
So it's a great neighborhood spot. It opened the same weekend that we moved into our house here in this neighborhood, so we sort of feel it like it's part of our family, and it's something that we can come to and just enjoy with the rest of the community.
It's a really great neighborhood spot, very family friendly. You definitely see kids and parents, sitting down for lunch on the weekends and stuff. It's really good barbecue.
Pork Barrel BBQ began in an odd place, the United States Senate. We were working one night during the Senate budget debate, and it was pretty late, and the Senate was debating pork barrel spending projects, and we were debating what we were going to have for dinner. And we'd eaten pizza at a local pizza restaurant 3 nights in a row, and we were sitting there thinking, wouldn't it be awesome if there was a great barbecue restaurant here in the area that we could get some ribs or some brisket from. And as this was happening, we were in the middle of this debate on earmarks, pork barrel spending. We thought, that would be a really good name for a barbecue company, Pork Barrel BBQ. So my business partner from the beginning has been Brett Thompson. We met in the United States Senate working together for former Senator Jim Talent. I couldn't ask for a better business partner than Brett. It's been a great relationship over the years. And the important thing in any business is having a business partner that you can trust. I think a lot of businesses fail based on those partnerships falling apart. And I'm happy to not only call him my business partner, but one of my best friends.
It's unique because there's no other really good barbecue places right in the area. It's a fun local establishment that has good barbecue.
Very well run place. We love all their food: the chicken, the pork, the beef. The sausage is outstanding, but I'm really partial to the brisket myself.
Early 2008, we were like, remember that idea we had about Pork Barrel BBQ? Maybe we should give that a shot and see where it might lead. And a week later, we came back, had our second meeting in the kitchen cabinet, and our first product, the All-American Spice Rub, was born. I was driving home from a softball game on the hill, and Brett calls me and says, we got this message from a guy who claims to be from Mark Burnett Productions. And Brett thought it was a joke that I had, had somebody call him and was just playing one over on him. And I thought he was doing the same to me by calling me and telling us. I'm like, why would Mark Burnett, the king of reality television, Survivor, one of the most successful shows on TV, have any one, knowledge about Pork Barrel BBQ, but two, any interest in us being on one of his shows. When we finally realized that neither of us had set the other one up and that maybe this was real, we got in touch with the guy, and he's like, we've been following you on Twitter and you guys and your social media. Going on to the show was a lot of unknowns for us. We were going on the first season, so we didn't have the benefit of knowing exactly how this whole thing works. It's pretty overwhelming. We've got our own little celebrity star trailer, which, a couple guys from Missouri, never thought we would be sitting on the Sony Pictures lot in one of these little celebrity stars trailers. We had about a 45-minute negotiation. TV, it's about an 8.5 minute, but we sat there for about 45 minutes going through every kind of question you can imagine, from what makes your product special. Anybody can make a barbecue sauce. That was a conversation that I had with Damon John, and then I challenged him to make one, and then he decided he didn't want to invest in us. But at the very end, we had one shark left, Barbara Corcoran, and another defining moment for Pork Barrel. She looks at me and she goes, "I cannot help but look at you and think that you look like an adorable pig." And that's a moment that you either lose it, you freeze and you don't know what to say, or you roll with the punch that was given to you. And I rolled with the punch, and I said, well, I guess I'll take that as a compliment. And the entire room just kind of blew up in laughter, and they're all like, oh, only a politician would say something like that. Really, I think it showed Barbara that I was flexible, that I could take a hit and continue to stand. I think that impressed her. And she decided to take a chance on a couple of guys with a barbecue sauce and a barbecue rub.
Well, it's a little different. It's almost a little like ski lodge meets barbecue. Very light and airy, a lot of natural light from the street. But I think that's important. Delray is a special neighborhood. It's like Mayberry in the middle of Alexandria. And it brings the neighborhood into the place, and it makes it part of the restaurant.
This restaurant, which opened just less than a year ago, has been the hottest, newest restaurant to ever hit the city of Alexandria.
Mid-2009, I got a phone call from a guy named Mango Mike Anderson. Mike calls thinking we're opening a restaurant, and when he finds out we're not, we start developing a conversation about partnering together. 2 days later, the Delray Neighborhood had a Taste of Delray, where they were going to determine the favorite restaurant in Delray. So we contacted them and said, I know we're not a restaurant here yet, but we're coming. Any chance that we could come and just kind of introduce ourselves to the community and serve some pulled pork sandwiches? They said, sure, that'd be great. We ended up winning the Taste of Delray for best restaurant in Delray, and we wouldn't be open for another 18 months. Welcome inside Pork Barrel BBQ, where we've tried to take the classic elements of the greatest barbecue joints in America and give it a little slight upscale feel. We've modeled our ordering system off of a lot of the traditional Texas barbecue joints, where you walk up, you tell the cashier what you'd like. I'd like a quarter pound of brisket, I'd like a pulled pork sandwich. And behind the cashier will be a butcher who will pull out the meat, be it a brisket or a pork butt, and you'll see them slice the brisket or pull the pork right in front of you. And then you'd walk on down and you could get one of our sides, or 2 or 3 of our sides, and then you would pick up the order on the other side. But you don't find a lot of places with this feature, which I think you're going to really enjoy if you come in. We've got regional and vintage sodas that you maybe haven't seen in 20 or 30 or 40 years, or you only see when you're in particular parts of the country. We've got Cheerwine from the Carolinas, a great barbecue soda. We've got Big Red, probably the quintessential Texas barbecue soda. We've got old favorites like Knee High Peach and Knee High Orange. We've got some really unique local products that I had never even heard of before we started doing this, like Dang That's Good Butterscotch Root Beer. By far the best tasting root beer I've ever had. But it's a lot of fun to see families come in, the kids, mom and dad talking, oh, when I was your age, I used to drink this or that. And it's been a real talking point and focal point for the restaurant and for the menu.
You know, the sides are probably their collard greens, really, I think, round everything out. But I think mac and cheese is something that really sticks to the ribs and just is classic accompaniment for barbecue.
I would recommend the macaroni and cheese. Definitely recommend the macaroni and cheese.
Honestly, my favorite thing is probably their cucumber salad. It's really refreshing, especially in these hot summer months.
I'm a true barbecue meat fan. I actually skip most sides just because I want to spend.
A side of meat.
Yes, I want to spend my time eating the meat.
Yeah, the barbecue chicken is it's great.
I would definitely recommend the pork sandwich, and I would use the vinegar barbecue sauce because that's to die for.
Pulled pork sandwich followed by mini glasses of Basil Hayden bourbon.
I would definitely recommend the pulled pork, and then you have to get at least one side. I feel like you can't have a barbecue sandwich without coleslaw, so I would definitely suggest adding that too.
Every item on the menu is worth trying. It is well prepared.
We love the food, of course, but we also like the friendliness of the staff.
I think you come here for the food, but you stay for the staff.
It's always been about that social aspect of things. You know, from those early days when politicians were bringing people together to talk about government and what they would do. It was nothing more than a social gathering of the community. Welcome back here into the heart. This is the Southern Pride. It's a pretty simple system. It's a rotisserie system. So you've got a rotisserie in there that moves around with your meats. It is both a gas and a wood burning smoker. So we didn't have a lot of money for marketing and advertising the company, and one of the things that we decided would be a good way to get our name out there, to maybe be fortunate enough to win some awards, was through competition barbecue. So we entered our very first contest as the Pork Barrel BBQ competition team in June of 2009, right here in our hometown of Washington, D.C., where we were trying to get the brand and the name out. And the Safeway National Capital Barbecue Battle is one of the most attended barbecue competitions in the country. As a result, we've become a fairly successful competition team. Last year, we were fortunate to get an invitation to cook our first Jack Daniel's World Championship, and this year we're cooking real well, and probably cooked 20 contests. So in a period of 3 years, we went from one contest, not knowing what we were doing, to this year we'll probably do 20 contests, and hopefully we'll finish in the top 50 teams in the country this year. We actually have to get ready to head up to Rhode Island this weekend for a big barbecue contest, so we're going to head over to Wag Jaws up in Northwest DC. It's our meat sponsor for our competition, and pick up our smoker and pick up our meat, so come on and check that out with us. All right, let's hit the road. So we're on our way over to Wag Jaws, which is a family-owned and operated Washington, D.C. grocery, butcher, market that's been in operation for literally dozens and dozens of years. All right, we're here in upper northwest Washington, D.C. near American University at Wag Jaws Market, the finest meats in the whole D.C. area. And we're gonna go in, and I think we're gonna meet Brian in here, who's got our meats for our contest this weekend in Rhode Island. So come on in and let's go check it out. Hey Brian.
Hey.
I'm good, buddy. You got some meat for me?
Only the best for you.
How's it going?
Not too bad, buddy.
What do you got back here?
Well, I'm just bagging up the last brisket for you guys. Got right out of the Midwest. Basically, it's been slaughtered up in Baltimore, prime cuts, dry aged for 28 days. We've extended that up to 42 days.
Nice, looking good.
Leaving nothing but good flavor for you. We got your nice Boston butts. It's out of Pennsylvania, nice local farm we've been dealing with for at least 15 years. Good products. And then the chicken out of the Shenandoah Valley, well, we've been dealing with that farm for about 20 years.
We appreciate your guys' support at Pork Barrel, and know that a lot of our success is due to the quality of meats that we get here at Wag Jaws.
Well, we're a family, and we're glad to be a part of it.
For us, the idea of Pork Barrel BBQ goes beyond just barbecue. It goes beyond, just a good meal even, and high quality products. What it is for us is an expression that the American dream is still alive. That's really what Pork Barrel is all about, is proving to people that the American dream is alive, and that if you have a good idea, go for it. You can still turn that idea into a success.
Hi, this is David Eschler, and we're here at the US Foods Kitchen in Chicago. Today we're going to be cooking up some beef tenderloin tips. Tenderloin tips are an economical alternative to filet mignon or tenderloin that you might find at your butcher shop. Once I have my steaks up to room temperature, it's very important that I dry them off. Anytime you're doing a lean cut of beef, it's so important to have a really hot grill and to also have plenty of oil on that grill to make sure that nothing's going to stick. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. And then I'm going to take my seasoned beef and I'm going to throw it directly onto the grill where I've oiled the grates. One quick trick you can use, if you take your thumb and your forefinger and press the fleshy part of your hand, that's rare. And as you go down your hand, the steak becomes more cooked. So you want to test for doneness by just poking your steak and seeing what kind of give you have. So I'm going to take this off the grill. Now, one thing to remember whenever you're cooking lean cuts of meat like this is to let your meat rest. We want to let those proteins kind of settle and let that juice really disperse throughout the meat again so that we have a nice, tender, juicy product.
I said, if you want some smoky Q, you can sit right down by my side. He said, I'll follow you, 'cause you seem to have the plan. And then he asked me if I eat my barbecue with a fork or with my hands. I eat with my hands, man. I eat barbecue everywhere, man. You know I had my share, man. I smell hickory in the air, man. Put sauce on my dessert, man. I had barbecue everywhere. I've eaten in Reno, cooking no ends, so using mumbo smoke, barbecue, Captain Ron's Brew Crew, baby back blues, juices, wild chicks, and pit smoking.